So when I think of the 80s, I think of things like Transformers, Lego of course, He-Man, Back to the Future, Star Wars, and of course, out there sports cars like the Lamborghini Countach. But before we get into the review, a big thanks to my buddies at Toyco. If you're in New Zealand, make sure you go along to their website and check out their deals before anyone else. They've got all these sets and more at 15% off at the moment. But like I say, big thanks to Toyco for looking after me and sorting me these sets out for review. So the Lamborghini Countach just screams 80s, but it was actually produced from 1974 right through to 1990. It came in a few different variations as far as engines go, but was always a V12 rear-wheel drive rear mount engine sports car. But the thing we remember most about it is the bonkers styling, those scissor doors, and those massive rear wheels on it. So set number 76908, 262 pieces. It's going to cost you 18 Great British pounds, 20 US dollars, 20 euros, or down here in New Zealand, it's going to cost you 35 New Zealand dollars. Inside the box, you're going to get 2 bags, an instruction manual, you're going to get the build, and a single minifig. But now let's take a look at the finished model. Now the first thing you notice about this car is that it has got that wide, low profile with those big air intakes behind the driver's section there. It's obviously a 2-seater sports car, so it's all engine from the rear of the seats backwards. I think they've managed to capture the little quirky features about it as well. That flat front nose with the headlights encased in the guards there, going up into a very angular mid area of the car like the real thing. You got some real harsh angles, but still capturing that smooth, sleek sports car that you get. I think the wheel arches work really well on this one because they have flared guards on the actual car, so it really works for it. It's a real shame that in a model this size you can't incorporate those scissor doors, of course, but it was never going to happen. Maybe in a future model with some clever techniques and some different parts we'll get that, but I think they've managed to capture the overall shape of the Lamborghini Countach really, really well. The technique that they've used to get those intakes on that funny angle just behind that midsection there is really, really clever. They do move around a little bit, but that's to be expected. What I'm really liking about these Speed Champions cars is the techniques that they're using and the fact that these cars are still a very robust little model. You know, nothing's going to fall apart despite them getting all these crazy shapes and lines and gaps and, you know, bits of spoilers and fairings and all that sort of stuff in there. They're still very solid models. Now coming around to the back of the car, they have captured the back end of this thing absolutely perfectly. With the 4 exhaust tips there all coming out, they are the right size. I love the fact they've used that transparent cone piece to represent the lights. Again, they've just managed to use some really clever techniques to get those angles around those lights at the back. It just works really, really well. Now stickers, there are a few stickers on it, but I think they are necessary, especially over the rear guards there and those engine vents coming down the back. I think it's quite necessary. Now those discs on the wheels there, they are printed, as is that canopy piece. Pretty much everything else is stickers though. Apart from what's on the back there isn't actually that many, to be fair. My favorite detail in here is definitely the angles that they've managed to capture for those air intakes on that back end there. I think it works really, really well. And it's a surprisingly simple technique too. Really, really clever. It's quite a simple build. I'm not going to say it's difficult. The AMG Project 1 and the Lotus that I've built and will be reviewing soon as well were slightly more challenging builds, and just the fact that there was a little bit more going on with it. If I was to make a few changes, there's a couple of changes I'd like to see if I could do it. Again, like the Ferrari 512M, I think the back end needs much wider wheels, much wider tires. This thing at the time had the widest possible tires you could get for a road going car. So being able to sort of display that on this model would have been kind of cool, to be honest. But I appreciate, again, techniques might not have allowed for this. The other thing as well is that notch that they've got in there behind where the rear doors were. If you could bring that forward a stud, it would work for me. It would work because it is a little bit further forward than where they've got it on that car, if you look at the pictures of it. But again, that's just a really, really small thing and certainly nothing that I'm concerned about. When you go to the inside, it's all red, and you could imagine the inside of one of these things probably being all red leather. You get a steering wheel and just a whole bunch of tiled off pieces there to make it look nice and smooth and shiny. I like the use of the microphone pieces, the gear stick there in the center as well. Now the minifig, quite a simple looking minifig. I really really, really like the simple black jacket with the Lamborghini logo on it. It's just very simple, but it works for me. I think it looks really good on this minifig. Just simple dark blue legs there. I'm assuming they're probably representing a pair of Levi's or something, given that this is from the 80s. You get a helmet, of course, and you get that dark brown hair this time. He also comes with a spanner for when it inevitably breaks down. But look at that price, and even though they've increased the price down here by $5 in New Zealand, I still think it's very much worth it. I'm just kicking myself that I haven't picked any of these cars up before, because I know there has been a few Lamborghinis in the past and a few Ferraris in the past, and I'm really starting to like these cars. I'm really, really starting to like them. So I will find them, I will get them, but I'm just happy that I've got this one. Superb model, and apart from the couple of minor changes, I can't really fault it. I can't fault it at all. But hey, thanks for checking this video out. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that subscribe, give it a like, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.